Hey everybody, and welcome back to the second channel. And I'm here with this thing. The double-sided guitar, I think is what I'm calling it. And yeah, where do I start with this thing? I guess where I got it. So not too long ago, I did a video with the Getendo. I did a few with the Getendo guitar, and that was a partnership with Reverb. And I came up with a little skit at the beginning where I searched weird guitar under Reverb and found that. And then maybe a month later, I was just on a laptop and it's just, all right, weird guitar, Reverb, and I found this thing, and immediately I just saw it from the picture, and it just immediately made me laugh really hard, and I just felt like, all right, well, I got to do something with it. It seemed like the possibilities for video would just be endless. Like, I wanted to write a song on it and find some. Wait, another thing I love about it is that you can see through. It's so funny having a guitar that also has a hole on the other side, and like the strings are resting. It's just like, I think what made me laugh initially was just hyper impractical it was. Like, what situation would it be like, this fits my needs, you know? I guess if you only have this much space for a guitar, but you also want an acoustic bass and an acoustic electric, then I guess you'd be in the market for it. Otherwise, I could only see it as like, if you were, you know, in my position, always making weird music videos. So anyway, I got it, and it wasn't in good shape. It was the only one that I could find. It was not very expensive, and mainly I think for it being in bad shape. And it shipped, I don't remember exactly where it shipped from, but very far away. And whoever the seller was just put it in a really thin styrofoam case that it didn't really fit in, and just with some tape. And it clearly, the styrofoam case was not for a guitar, and even it didn't really fit. So part of the bass, part of the headstock of the bass was just like, there was a cutout in the styrofoam, and the styrofoam was like that thick, and it was sticking out. So not surprisingly, sometime during shipping, something hit into the bass neck, I'm assuming, and when I got it, the bass neck was just off. It was as if, you know, was it like a wishbone? It just did that, and the bass neck totally came off. So I brought it to Jeff Guitar Shop. I'm not sure if that's the name, but it's on Belmont here in Chicago. And brought this to him. He fixes up guitars and other instruments, and brought it there to get it, you know, back up to playing order. And it has there's just some weird quirks about it. Like right here now in the middle, there's two different necks, and we have a guitar strap, and then another guitar strap. So there's three, and this third one wasn't there when I got it, but along with the glue to make sure it was stable, he just screwed through. There's a screw on top to get this back on and stable. And this whole thing was like destroyed, so he put that together. Thanks, Jeff. And it also has electronics on both sides, and then two outputs, so you can get the double neck jam is probably what I'm going to call it. That video is out, should be out by now. And you can see in there that we're using two mics and then two instrument cables for the two DIs. Though weirdly in there's another quirk about it where it's both the same pickup. So on this side, it covers all the strings, but on this side, it's not big enough, so you only get these three. And then, you know, sure enough, I wrote the song mostly on this string. So if you listen to just the DI track, there's just none of this is there. None of this one. So the mics had to fill that in. And I also got it because I saw the opportunity to wear I could do a video where there's two people playing it at once, one person singing and then another person maybe like playing bass and like, you know, hitting it like a drum. And we've already shot those videos with Mary Spender on the same day that we did Double-Sided Guitar Jam, which is probably the title. Those will come out eventually, but those turned out pretty cool. That was really tough to figure out a position, first of all, to be able to play. And if one person is playing this side, like I have it, I'm strapped into it, and then I have it on my leg, and then she needs to be over here with her knee here because she's also playing it as a drum, and if doesn't have that leverage. And we needed two separate stands for our feet to get it right, and then, you know, she's playing the bass over here, I'm playing the guitar, or the other way around in the other video, and we're like getting in the way of each other. So we had to practice, you know, at some points I'm doing this, and then the drumming is just constantly pounding. It's just really silly. The Double-Sided Guitar Jam, that's what I wanted to start with, just a solo tune, no singing, no percussion, just kind of simple, showcasing the instrument and seeing what I could do on this that maybe you couldn't do on another instrument. And the first thing I thought of was at some point I need to spin it around. And I also want to do, at some point I'd like to do a looping video where I'm like on bass, then onto guitar, onto bass. Like it's just a cool thing. But so the first thing I did was I put the 6th string in open D. That seemed to make sense for me because then over on the bass side I could just bring this down to drop D and get a nice low D there and have a good range. So I actually started writing with it like this, which is a much more comfortable way to play the song. And it's almost it reminds me a little bit of playing the sitar because you have so many open strings that you can just revert to and keep that open chord rolling. But I actually, just for the sake of the video, I played it like this and being able to spin it around, and so you can see through the middle, which makes it harder to play, but it's way cooler for video. So I just wrote a song that's mostly around the bass, and then mostly around strumming the open D. Oh wait, I went around the other way. To the open D here and then the low D. There's some other parts. Another challenge was like just strumming through the 6th string is pretty easy, but playing it with your hand like this and getting certain strings is a little bit awkward. So I wrote around a few parts where it's necessary, and then normally it's more of a just strumming towards the high strings or low that makes the difference. It's way more comfortable like this. But yeah, then there's that few parts where oops. And I can kind of go back to the A and the D there. And that's about the song. Halfway through I spin it around, and then I'm just, instead of constantly going to that D chord, I'm just going to low D. Being able to end it with just doing this. It's pretty cool. So it's a pretty fascinating instrument. It doesn't sound nearly as bad as I would anticipate it to sound. It's actually kind of cool, you know, just like like the sitar, you know, you hit one string, then you have this body that's resonating all these other strings, and so you have all these other great frequencies going on. And then for the other songs with Mary, where we're both playing it, it's in a little bit of a different tuning. It's almost standard. The bass is in standard, and the guitar, the D string is down to G, just to make power chords on this side a bit easier. And that was simply just because for some parts of the song, you know, I'm here playing like that, and those chords would be here. So like it doesn't work. But those should be out eventually, or they're out now if you're watching this in the future. And I think that's about it. That's a double-sided guitar. I Googled it today and saw that the same company made some electric ones. But it's such a hard thing to photograph as well. Like, it's great for video because it's visually super cool for when the frame is moving. But for the thumbnail, or even like, I saw some of these other guitars, the electric one that I just mentioned. But if you only get a photo from one side, like here, it just looks like a bass. Or like, even like this, it looks like a bass with something in the background that you're kind of not noticing, but yeah, I guess that's about it. I've shot this a few times, so I'm not sure what I've gone over already. Thanks so much for watching the second channel, and I'll see you next time.